Welcome to Cocktails in the War Room, everybody. What's going on? I'm Mistress Carrie, your host of Cocktails in the War Room, and welcome to my actual war room, and welcome to episode 171. We got to say what's up to William joining us in West Texas. He says, hey, y'all. Mark says the Bruins are up 1-0 after 2. Melissa is here. Pyrus is here. Tracy, Donna, Karen. Marcy is joining us. Michelle, Carol, Monica, Michael, Paula, Christina. We got a full house. What's going on? If you're new to the War Room, if this is your first episode, let us know in the comments. Let us know that A, this is the first time joining us in the War Room, and B, you got to let us know where you're watching from so we can welcome you properly. And by we, I mean the War Room family, as they have dubbed themselves. This is the 171st episode of Cocktails in the War Room. It started back on March 14th of 2020. We did 80 shows in a row, and then we made the show a weekly show once we launched the Mistress Carrie podcast, and now we're 171 episodes in. And I don't do the show myself because, well, my lovely little co-host Wednesday is here. Sit down. I know. Do you want to sit down? Sit. No, nicely. Sit. Hey. Say hi to everyone. Want to say hi to everyone up here? She has been my rock, my cohort, my co-host. She's got her birthday coming up in April, and we have had birthday parties for her over the last couple of years. And yeah, that's her hot dog. You want to back up? Hold on. Let me share the screen with you. Do you mind if I share the screen with you? Is that okay? By the way, Wednesday is closing in on 1,000 Instagram followers. So if you're on the IG and you are not following her at Wednesday the Goth Pug yet, that's where she's at. Hey, back up. Down. High five. Thank you. Sit. There you go. Good girl. Let's see. What's up? Burrito's joining us. Will is here. Eric is here. Woo TV is joining us. They say Wednesday. Woo TV says hi. Are you guys hearing a buzzing? I'm hearing a buzzing for some reason, and I don't know why, and it only happens when I talk. So hold on. Find out what's going on. I'm getting interference somehow. Do you guys hear that? Or is it just me? I'm trying to figure out what it could possibly be. But if you guys aren't hearing it, then I'll just put up with the buzzing. I don't know what's going on today. Let's see. Make sure all the connections are in tight. I don't know. Let's see. Nope, no buzzing. Hello from Gardner. Rodney says, nope, I'm buzzed, says Eric. That's fantastic. Let's see. Eric joining us. Monica, thank you for the Volbeat and Ghost tickets. It was freaking awesome. Let's see. Lisa, hello, War Room, and MC and Wednesday. So we say what's up to Lisa. It's just on my end. Okay, I hear no buzzing. That's fantastic. Then I'll just put up with the noise. I don't really care. Wednesday, come over here. Come here. Can you sit down? Can you guys seriously handle the giant hot dog? I can't. She used to be deathly afraid of the giant hot dog, which, by the way, she got in the mail call. And now she drags the thing around the house, and it's hilarious. Good girl. So yesterday I stripped all of the pug beds in this house and washed them all, and I could have made another Wednesday out of all of the pug fur that ended up in my brand new washing machine. Carrie, don't touch the wires. Don't be like the cat in the Christmas Vacation. I know, and we started the show on time tonight, by the way, so I don't want to do anything to screw it up. Maybe it's the headphones. Try a backup pair. It totally could be. There's a lot of lights plugged in here too. Obviously, you can see the ring light in the reflection of the thing right here. So there's a lot going on in here. So it's just not normal that I hear a buzzing in here. Hey. What about now? Does it sound okay now? I just hit a button that I didn't mean to hit, so I'm hoping that I didn't screw anything up. And Wednesday will not stop. Down. Hey, down. Be a good girl. You're begging me for cookies. I know, but it's the only way I can get you to come in here and sit nicely until the mail call when we open up to see if you have presents. What about up here? You want to say it? What's up here? What's up here? What? What's this? What's up, Steven? Jane is joining us. Keith is here. Let's see. Joe, hit the button again. It stopped the buzzing. Wait, hit which button? Hit the button again. Yeah, she is really fresh tonight, Tracy. Sounds good down here, William says. Okay. Well, then I'm just... Buzzing is when you talk, so shut up. Good luck with that. Well, I don't think that's going to happen, but let's see. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. So as long as you guys aren't hearing it, are you fucking with me or are you really hearing it? For anybody new to the War Room, this is how they are. Smart asses, all of them. All right, so we got a lot to talk about tonight. First thing we want to talk about is the fact that I can drink again. And to celebrate, we got a little Fernandez sangria action. I was on some medication for my back last week, and I was not allowed to drink while I was taking it. Thankfully, the medication is done. Thankfully, I can have a cocktail. So cheers to you guys. Eric says, don't forget, y'all, my birthday is 4 weeks from Monday. So there you go. Wednesday, that's not yours. What's in here? Do you want to, hold on, I got to turn the pug cam back on. So this coffee mug thing is like her favorite thing. And all those little crinkly toys that you guys buy her, I shove in there. And it's her favorite thing to dig through this coffee mug and pull out all of the crinkly toys that you guys send her. See? This is what she does every day. And I go around the house and I pick up all of her crinkly toys and I shove them back into the coffee mug and then she pulls them all out again. She does this probably 30 times a day. She loves it. Monica wants to know how I'm feeling. I'm feeling much better. So here's the problem. So my back and my shoulder are two completely different injuries, and they both flared up at the same time. The back, I'm fairly certain, was part of the traveling, terrible back. Like the bed I was sleeping on was really bad, and the long flights and all of that. My back was just really, really bothering me. My shoulder injury is an old javelin throwing injury from high school, if you can believe that. And the medication that helped my back did nothing for my shoulder. And so now my shoulder is what I'm dealing with. But my back is feeling much better, which is great. I'm still trying to find out what kind of metal is in my leg so that the doctor can find out if I can have an MRI or not. Do you guys see this? It's like a fucking clown car with all the stuff she pulls out of this coffee mug, literally every day. But I am feeling a lot better, which is really good. I think anybody that has any kind of chronic pain, any kind of chronic back pain, when you're in pain all the time, it affects everything. And I've talked about it on the show before, but I just try really hard not to take medication for it. And I definitely don't want to have to take any kind of narcotics for it. I just have so many friends that have had a problem getting off of pain meds. It's a slippery slope. I'm super just worried about them. And so I try really hard to do it the right way, physical therapy, stretching, kind of all of that stuff. So, what are you doing over here? Come on. And, so my back is definitely feeling better and, I'm going to head back to physical therapy. So once again, I will be with the physical therapist who was like half my age, telling me that my back problem should be an episode of a medical mystery on Grey's Anatomy. Those were her quotes. So that coffee cup toy is fantastic. Let me tell you guys something. I didn't know this was a thing, but toys like this that like you can fill with other toys, the interaction of it for her, like it keeps her occupied. And like all she wants me to do is like hold these toys and play tug of war with her. And all these little crinkly toys that you guys buy for her, She loves them. And because they squish up really small, I shove them in the mug. There's like 10 of them in there. And she sticks her little face in there, pulls them out one by one, chases the mug around the house, and then I have to go behind her and pick up all the toys, shove them back in the mug again, and she does it all over again. And I'm telling you, she does it like 30 times a day. It's insane, but it makes her so happy, as you can tell. Look at her tail. Pug hole. Wednesday. You're not supposed to show the pug hole on the show. For anybody that doesn't know what the pug hole is, you got to check the dictionary in the blog at mistresscarrie.com. That's the glossary and the listing of all of the terms here in the war room. And while there's certain parts of pug's anatomy that are pretty obvious because of the way their tail curls, and we don't need to see that. So, hey. All right. So I'm feeling great. So, oh, wait, that's not the right camera. So I'm feeling great. So thank you guys for asking. Let's talk about the Super Bowl, shall we? The ratings came out today. And between all of the streaming outlets, Univision and NBC, they think about 112 million people watched the game. I'm super bummed the Bengals didn't win. I could feel the game shifting in the last couple minutes. And I was like, they're ahead, but I've been a Pats fan too long. I know what this feels like when you're going to lose and you don't know you're going to lose yet. It was pretty brutal. Annette says, I got something like that from my dog. She destroyed the outside and the inside toys. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Chronic pain is a noun. So pain in the ass. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Love the Super Bowl, says Ryan. Love the halftime, said Tracy. I thought the halftime was great. Here was my criticism. Like, they build it as Kendrick Lamar, Mary J, Eminem, Snoop, and Dr. Dre. I didn't need 50 Cent. Did you guys need 50 Cent? I wanted more Eminem, and I could have done without 50 Cent, although the memes from 50 Cent were worth him being on it. But I thought that it was really good. I think, having been to the Super Bowl once myself, I was fortunate enough to go in 2005 to see, I believe it was Super Bowl 39 in Jacksonville, Florida, and to see the Pats beat the Eagles. And I bet the halftime show wasn't great for all of the people in the stadium because the buildings that they were in weren't visible to everyone. And that stadium is so big that I bet the people that were at the stadium weren't seeing it. Like, it was definitely set up for the television audience. And I bet if you were in the crowd, it didn't look great. The year that I got to go to the Super Bowl, I was sitting literally like 3 rows back from falling out of the stadium, way up in the 300 section. And that was the Paul McCartney year. And the stage was big and wide, and there wasn't really anything to obstruct anyone's view. I thought the set for this year's Super Bowl would have been hard to see around. And I also thought it was going to move. Like, I kept waiting for them to get in the cars, and they didn't. And I was like, well, why are the cars there? They're just there. Like, I thought because they were all convertibles, they were going to get in the cars, which I thought would have been really cool, and have them drive the perimeter of the field or something. But 50 was a bonus, Tracy. Yep, not enough Slim Shady, says Steven. The Chevy commercial, though, with the Sopranos. Okay, we got to talk about that, too. So I sent out a tweet because when I saw the Sopranos commercial, especially because they released the prequel with James Gandolfini's son, when I saw the commercial, heard the music, recognized all the same scenery, and then saw that it was Meadow driving the car, my brain went immediately to new Sopranos series, Meadow takes over the family business. And I was like, oh my God, yes. And then I just realized it was just a car commercial, and I was super bummed out. Although it was cool to see her with AJ at the end. I've since learned that they do a podcast together. Did you guys know that? I don't know what it's called, but I'm sure you can Google it and find it. The stadium would have gone apeshit, Tracy. I didn't love the set either, says Woo TV. Listen, the 300s is where all of the cool kids camp out. Well, let me tell you about my Super Bowl experience really quick. Not that you asked, but I want to share it with you anyway. So we went down to Jacksonville Jacksonville was not a great place to host the Super Bowl because there wasn't a lot of hotel rooms down there. So they had to bring in cruise ships to serve as hotels in Jacksonville. And we went down and had to stay in Orlando, which was like a 4-hour ride away. And so we were sleeping in Orlando and commuting to Jacksonville. So it was a giant pain in the ass. We reached out to the Van Zant family, and WAAF had a party at the Freebird Cafe, which was the Van Zant's club there. And we had Theory of a Dead Man play, which was awesome. And we went down, most of us without tickets, hoping that we were going to be able to get some tickets. And there was one ticket left that was up for grabs. And it was me and Adam, our promotions and marketing guy. And we flipped a coin over it and Adam won. And so him and my boss were going into the show to sit together. And then our sales manager, this guy, Paul Mead, I'll never forget it. He had gotten a single ticket and was just going to go in the game. And he had gone to the other Super Bowls before. And there was like one sales guy that didn't have a ticket. And so I was like, all right, dude, I guess you and I are hanging out. And then Paul was like, take my ticket and we're going to go bar hopping. And what had happened in Jacksonville, because this was the third Super Bowl in 4 years for the Patriots fans had sold all of their tickets to the Eagles fans for big money. And all the Eagles fans were inside the stadium and all the Pats fans were packing all of the bars around the stadium. And Eagles fans are assholes. I'm just going to throw that out there. If you're an Eagles fan, you're probably an asshole. Parents are probably assholes too. And so they were like, Carrie, just take this ticket. And so I went in with Adam and our boss, but I was sitting on the other side of the stadium and I had all my Pats gear on. I had beads and my hat. And it was like 45 degrees and none of us brought jackets because we were expecting Florida to be warm, but it's not warm in Jacksonville in fucking February. And so I was like, all right, I guess I'll see you guys after the game. And there was like every seat is taken at the Super Bowl. So there was nowhere for me to sit anywhere near them. So I was like, I'm just going to go sit up in my seat. The entire section was Eagles fans, except me and the two people sitting next to me that just happened to be AAF fans. To this day, I don't have photos of these two guys. I don't know what their names are, but all the Eagles fans were assholes in the section. And I had all my Pats gear on and I was like, this is not going to end well. I'm going to end up in a fight or getting my ass kicked or I'm going to get stabbed. And so these two Pats fans sitting next to me, I was like, guys, I will buy your drinks all night if you keep me from getting my ass kicked because I'm going to talk a lot of shit during this game. They were like, no problem. So we go out. There were these bars that had full liquor and the mixed drinks were in tumblers like this. And we were like, okay, then we're just getting after it. We were drinking Captain and Cokes, like 16-ounce tumbler Captain and Cokes. We were just ordering them 3 at a time. They weren't shutting anybody off. It was just lunacy. And it was insane what the Eagles fans, there was a guy sitting in front of us with his like 11-year-old son that were all decked out in Eagles gear. And I'm going to use a word. It's because I'm quoting. Every time Vinatieri went up to kick the ball, this guy egged his 11-year-old to go, faggot, faggot. And I'm just looking at him like, you are the biggest asshole I have ever seen encouraging your kid to do that. And I was just like, God, man, the Pats got to win this game because I want to shove it up this guy's ass so bad. And then obviously every time the Eagles scored, they just got more obnoxious. And then when the Pats would score, me and the dynamic duo that I was getting drunk next to me would get more and more obnoxious. And then as the game was getting close to ending, and it looked like the Pats might actually squeak this thing out, the Eagles fans started to run because they didn't want to be in the stadium because they spent so much money, most of it from giving their money to Pats fans to buy the tickets. And that guy that was getting his son to say that about Vinatieri, we were relentless. It was borderline abusive. Thank God there was no TikTok back then because it was brutal what me and these two guys were saying. So anyway, the Pats end up winning. Only like 15% of the stadium was Patriots fans. So we all flooded the field. It was insane. I've got these great photos. It was awesome. Here's the best part. The Eagles fans had to walk through this drunken perimeter of Patriots fans that were literally wasted in every bar within a 10 square mile radius of the stadium. And if you were an Eagles fan and you went to that Super Bowl, you hated life. You went home broke and brokenhearted, and Pats fans went home with all your money and another Super Bowl ring. And it was amazing, but it was brutal. So I've got some great pictures. And of course, we were all throwing up the hand gesture because this was our third Super Bowl in 4 years. So we're all throwing up the hand gesture like this in all the photos. Not even meaning shocker, just showing 3 Super Bowls in 4 years and showing how drunk we all were. We were wondering why the TV cameras didn't want to go. Oh, man. That was a good time. I still have the ticket. I still have the goodie bag with all of the stuff. The one thing that's really cool about the Super Bowl, if you're lucky enough to get in, and I know I'll never get to another one, but I can check it off my bucket list, is that there's just all of this cool stuff. Like you're constantly spotting like celebrities in the crowd, and there's just this amazing like goodie bags and all of this stuff. And I bought all kinds of stuff, but one of the cool things that I bought was I bought the lanyard to put your ticket in so that it was protected. So you didn't have to put your like paper ticket in your pocket because I didn't want it to get ruined. And then I bought this really cool acrylic case to like press my ticket into. And I have it down in MCHQ because like I went to one Super Bowl in my life. My team won and a freaking Beatle was the halftime show. It's one of the greatest days of my life. Michael says, I'm enjoying this story. Thank you. Write a memoir, woman. I know. How did we not know? We were like 3 and 4 years. And everybody was like, you guys are drunk idiots. And then we had to drive back 4.5 hours to Orlando to go to bed. We slept like 5 minutes the whole time we were there, but it was amazing. We can be assholes, Tracy. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. But it was amazing. Getting to see your team win the Super Bowl is pretty cool. I can't imagine what it's been like for the Buccaneers and the Rams to win at home, which is kind of crazy. Although, did you guys see the ratings for the Super Bowl and the markets where there was the most viewership? Cincinnati was obviously number 1. Boston came in 8th. LA didn't make the top 10. The Super Bowl was in their town. Their team was playing and won, and they didn't crack the top 10 for ratings, and they're the second biggest media market in the country. And that's why people hate LA sports fans, because you suck, because you don't support your teams. You won the Super Bowl, and you weren't in the top 10. LA didn't beat Cleveland in viewership of the fucking Super Bowl. I'm just saying. I'm not an asshole. It's masshole. Yeah, exactly. All future Super Bowls will be played in Dallas to make sure that the home team isn't playing. Oh, it's fantastic. So I thought I think anybody that was complaining about the halftime show this year, that should be an indication that you are starting to get out of the media's prime advertising and marketing age, that you are aging out of the demographic. Because if you went on TikTok or anywhere and saw all of these like 30s and 40s and like early 50-year-olds like dancing to Dr. Dre and Snoop and whatever, we're getting to the point now where people grew up loving rock and hip hop simultaneously. People that grew up listening to Run DMC and the Beastie Boys and NWA and Anthrax and Public Enemy, like the future generations do not compartmentalize their music the way that generations past did. And so it was really funny to like watch the older people online complaining about the Super Bowl. And I thought it was really interesting that they were talking about the hypersexualization of the Super Bowl. And I'm like, did these idiots not see Shakira and J-Lo during the Super Bowl halftime show a few years ago? There's nothing more sexualized than Shakira and J-Lo during the halftime show of the Super Bowl. Like those two women literally are like physical manifestations of carnal knowledge. They're two of the sexiest women on the planet that have dance skills and can do things with parts of their body that most women are just like, I got to tap out. I can't even try that. My back, hips, they lie. Theirs don't, but ours do. And if that wasn't too sexy, Mary J. and Snoop, come on. Are we serious? That's what you're complaining about? With the cheerleaders there with uniforms that were like this big on, and you think that the halftime show was sexualized? Yeah, exactly. Nipplegate. I know. And like, did you guys watch the Janet Jackson documentary or the docuseries? I thought Janet Jackson handled a lot of that with a lot of class, and that she didn't. A lot of people have blamed like Justin on like how he kind of made it through unscathed, and Janet Jackson took him right off the hook and was like, it's not his problem at all. He has no blame in this. I couldn't believe actually that she was as gracious as she was, because she didn't need to be. And so yeah, Nipplegate. How much more sexualized do you want to be? And seriously, like, go and read the lyrics to the Rolling Stones and Paul McCartney songs that you love so much. Don't tell me there's not hypersexualization there too. It's just that it was acceptable that way. Yeah, the documentary is really good. The Janet Jackson thing is really good. There were a couple things that I was like, I kind of rolled my eyes at. Like, she didn't understand why she was getting looped in with her brother when Michael was going through all of the controversy around the allegations and stuff. But then they showed her on stage on her tour, like asking fans to like pray for her brother and like support Michael. And it's like, he's in the middle of a case where people think he molested kids and you're defending him. Of course, that's going to affect your career. I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm not saying whether Michael did it or not, but those accusations were pretty brutal and you were defending him. So of course you're taking a stand. I understand it's family, but you're going to take a hit professionally for that if you're going to go on stage and defend him that publicly. So there were a couple little things about it that I thought they kind of glossed over, but the way she handled the Nipplegate thing, I thought was really classy. So, yeah, read the lyrics to Brown Sugar. Read the lyrics again to Brown Sugar. Exactly, Michael. That's what I'm saying. Just about every 80s song was about sex. I hate to tell you, but almost every rock and roll song, period, is about sex. So I thought it was really interesting, the controversy around this year's halftime show. I personally would love to see more halftime shows that bring up a little bit of everybody. Like, remember when Aerosmith was on and Britney Spears was there, and was it the New Kids that were on that year? Like, if they could bring out, I'm just throwing names, but if they brought out like AC/DC and Miley Cyrus and Megan Thee Stallion and like just put this crazy show of all of these different artists together, like, I think that would be really cool. The problem is that you have a lot of big artists. Like AC/DC can host it on their own. They can carry all the water of the halftime show themselves. But I would like to start, the way that they do like cool medleys and cool duets and stuff during the Grammys where like they paired Lady Gaga and Metallica. Like, I would like to see, like when Katy Perry brought out Missy Elliott, I was like, yes, because Missy Elliott's awesome. Stuff like that. Guns N' Roses, case in point. Yeah, exactly. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. Exactly. It was in sync. You're right. Aerosmith, Britney in sync. Nicki Minaj, Metallica, Lady Gaga, and Amy Lee. That, Eric, see, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. And I mean, imagine if Chester Bennington was still here and Linkin Park and Jay-Z went out and did it together. And did Collision Course together, it would have been amazing. So I hope that moving forward, they find a way to incorporate more musical genres into the halftime show. I think the hard part is getting the artists and the artists' camp to kind of set egos aside a little bit and say, no, let's share the spotlight. Let's get a bunch of these different artists together and do something together. So, yeah, I know Jay-Z and Linkin Park, it would be out of control. It would be unbelievable. And you know what? There's nothing saying they couldn't do that next year. Even though Chester's not there, he could still have the rest of the guys from Linkin Park out there and then bring someone else out to sing Chester's parts. Roger Goodell, call me. I'm a marketing genius. All right. The big four, add Amy too. Yeah, it would just be Metallica and Elton John. Like, it would just be really cool to do stuff like that, I think. So just some ideas in case anybody wanted mine, which I know you didn't. All right, we got a lot to talk about, so let's recap last week's podcast, shall we? Episode 88, featuring the one and only Slash. I loved having Slash on the podcast. He is just, every time I talk to him, he's just such a genuine guy. I told you guys last week when I told you he was going to be on this past episode that he just sounded really happy. He sounded just at a really good place in his life, at a very creative place. It sounded like he spent a lot of great quality time with the family during COVID. And it was just nice to catch up with him. And he was just all smiles and excited that the record was coming out, excited about the tour. He just was just so happy. And it's really nice to hear him that way because Slash has been through a lot. He went through over a decade of having to deal with the Axl Guns N' Roses questions, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame crap, and his own health stuff and addiction stuff, and to see Slash come out the other side, to see Guns N' Roses doing well. Their new EP comes out on the 25th. The new Slash, Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators record 4 just came out this past Friday. Eric says he was just interviewed by Jason Momoa. Yeah, see, now those two guys seem like they would be guys that would hang together for sure. That doesn't surprise me at all. Alexa says it was a great episode. Thank you. Shannon says 100%. I want to know if anybody caught him at Disney. People, there are, because Slash went on Christmas to Disney with his kids. And we talked about it a little bit in the episode, that he had the mask on, he had his hair in a ponytail, sunglasses, and his kids put pictures up. And that's how people figured out it was him. But he was kind of able to go incognito a bit, which for Slash is kind of hilarious to be able to do. And to be able to just go and do normal family stuff is kind of awesome, because he is one of the most recognizable rock stars in the world. And it's got to be hard for him to be able to go anywhere. But at the same time, he's famous for a lot of stuff, like the hair, the top hat, the glasses, the cigarette, the Chuck Taylor sneakers with the ripped jeans and the handkerchief hanging out of his pocket. And it's like, all right, well, if you put a COVID mask on and you put his hair in a ponytail and you don't put a top hat on, and can Slash become just some hairy dude at Disney? And the answer is yes. Melissa says, I'm now 5 episodes behind. I got to catch up. Well, the good thing is that the last few episodes haven't been very long, because I've had very small windows to be able to record them between, Jonathan Davis, Slash. Even this week's episode is on the shorter side because of how I had to record it, which I'll tell you about in a minute. Let's see. I would think his hair, but who knew? I mean, that's why, if he braided it to kind of make it so you couldn't tell how curly it was and pulled it all back, it would be possible for Slash to kind of hide a little bit. I asked Jonathan Davis the week before on episode 87, the same thing. He said people still kind of figure out it's him, but I think partly it's because of dreads. So, and Jonathan Davis is a tall guy, whereas Slash is a little bit more average height. So I bet for Jonathan, just because he's got to be at least 6 feet, Jonathan, maybe 6'1". I'm not sure. Let's see. Isn't he tall though? Yeah, Jonathan Davis is tall. Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of hard for him to blend. You see a 6'1" guy with long dreadlocks, and you can still kind of tell it's Jonathan Davis. But Slash, maybe he could blend a little bit more. I mean, you guys remember, was it last fall, Mick Jagger went to a bar and no one knew it was him? And he wasn't like wearing a mask. He was down south somewhere where it wasn't required. And he was just sitting at a bar by himself on a Rolling Stones night off. And no one knew it was him. How do you not know it's Mick Jagger? Can you imagine if you were the one person in the bar that recognized him? And you were like, you just went over to the bar and kind of sat down and you were like, I'm not going to tell anybody who you are, but can I pretend to be your best friend for 30 minutes? That would have been, you could have spent like 30 minutes talking music with Mick Jagger and nobody else would have known it was him if you had acted cool. And Mick Jagger probably would have been totally into that. Let's see. Without his hat, probably wouldn't know with the wild hair. Yeah, and he's also known for his nose ring, but under a COVID mask, you can't see Slash's nose ring anyway. So, now speaking of Mick Jagger, no, he's not on the podcast, although I would love to have him on the podcast. Good night, Paula. Sleep well. So speaking of Mick Jagger, there is a reference of Mick Jagger on this week's episode of the podcast. So episode 89 of the Mistress Carrie podcast brings back someone from episode 20. Can you believe that I introduced you guys to Aaron Jones in October of 2020 on episode 20 of the podcast? And I thought after about a year and a half, the wood stove just made a weird noise. I thought after a year and a half that I should check back in with Aaron because, well, he's had a lot going on in the last year and a half. And he tells me a really good story about Mick Jagger in this episode. So episode 89, sponsored by Digital Federal Credit Union. You can find them at dcu.org. And by the way, if you're not happy with your car loan, DCU members get the same rates for used cars and new car loans. And you can refinance your car with DCU. So go to dcu.org. They are sponsoring this week's episode of the podcast, episode 89, welcomes back Aaron Jones. Now, in the last year and a half since he was on the show, he released his album, had 3 top 10 songs, has toured with everyone, out on the road with Shinedown right now. And he's had 2 kids. He's got 2 kids under 2 years old right now. When I talked to him the first time, he had 1 baby. And then I found out like 8 months later that his wife was pregnant again. And now he's got 2 kids, which, by the way, they make a cameo appearance on this week's episode of the podcast. So let me tell you the story about Aaron. So I have been trying, and he's been so busy, and I've been trying to get him on the show. And so finally they were like, yeah, you can have him, but he's going to be in the car, and he's going to be headed to the airport, and he's flying to Paris. And I was like, okay. So the interview that I did with Aaron is him in the car with his family in between the 2 car seats. And he's with his kids getting driven to the airport to fly to Paris. And that's how we did this week's episode. And it's really funny. Christine said Aaron Jones is great. War Room family and Carrie, it looks like Ryan is going to go to bed today. Good night, Carrie. Good night, War Room family. Good night, Ryan. 2 kids under 2. Yeah, I sent him the made in lockdown baby onesies for the kids because I was like, you need to have these for sure. Let's see. Christine said Mick Jagger lives in Lakewood Ranch in Bradenton, Florida. Well, I'm sure he's got more than one residence. I think the husband just woke up, just got a text. Countdown is on, by the way, for his return. Can't tell you exactly when he's coming home, but the countdown is on. So very excited. So anyway, so Aaron Jones, the kids are adorable. They weren't crying or anything. And originally they were being so still that I thought that they were like pictures of them or something because they were just sitting there in the car seats. The baby was sleeping. the 2-year-old was just kind of chilling, and Aaron's just doing the interview, and he was hilarious. And then all of a sudden I was like, wait, is that the baby? And he was like, yeah, look at him. And he's so cute. Let's see. Wait, Steven, why is your phone going nutso? Janine says, so excited for you. Hey, just a heads up, this Sunday, Reels channel is doing a documentary about the station nightclub fire for the 19th anniversary. So, Brito, is that the documentary that Jack Russell did? Jack Russell from Great White was part of putting a documentary together that I've been talking about in the sit rep. Is it the same documentary that Reels is going to show? I'm very curious if it's that documentary or if it's a different one. But I definitely want to see that. Did you have a haircut today? Christine wants to know. Yes, I did. That's why my hair is curly, because Linda's the only person that can get my hair to stay curly. So yes, Linda says hi, by the way. But yeah, I went and got my haircut today. Thanks for separating the new vinyl stickers from the sticker pack, Melissa says. Yeah, so I brought up some stuff so I could show you guys. So we'll get to that in the show. But anyway, so just to finish up, episode 89 of the podcast is featuring Aaron Jones again. And that episode goes live at midnight. Don't forget, if you subscribe and follow the Mistress Carrie podcast, not only do you get the weekly episodes every Wednesday, but you also get the sit rep every Monday through Friday. You get all your rock news, music headlines, industry info. You get it all in under 5 minutes, and you get it every weekday. And if you're looking to find the podcast, this is just some of the places that you can find it. Just search the Mistress Carrie podcast wherever it is that you listen to podcasts, and you'll find it. As long as you see this artwork right here, you'll know you're in the right spot. You can listen to the episodes right on this Facebook page, and you can also just go to mistresscarrie.com and click the player of any episode you want to listen to. Made it super easy for you guys to be able to check out the episodes. And the Mistress Carrie podcast is also a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network, which is a network of almost 100 podcasts that are all music related, which is really cool. So we're holding strong once again at 130 countries. And once again, our neighbors to the north are number 2 in listenership for the podcast. Again, the Canadians, they love the podcast. The Australians and the Germans are not that far behind, but it's definitely still Team Canada behind the United States. And there's a ton of stuff to talk to you guys about. A bunch of shows got announced today, so I want to run down some of the stuff that's going on. The Beth Hart tribute Led Zeppelin album is out on the 25th. Beth Hart is also going to be performing that record March 9th at the Wilbur. Those tickets are available right now. Speaking of the 25th, Dream Theater is going to be at the Wang. Alice Cooper coming up on March 18th is going to be at Foxwoods. Tool is at the Garden this Saturday night, and there are still some tickets left available. I will see you guys at the show if you're going. Korn with Chevelle and Code Orange at the Dunkin' Donuts Center on March 16th. The SNHU Arena show in Manchester is the 19th. Tickets for those shows are on sale, as are tickets to see Judas Priest at Mohegan on April 2nd and the Songus on April 4th. The Foo Fighters movie comes out on the 25th, and the Foo Fighters released a new song today, a thrash song under a different band moniker, and it's off of the soundtrack. And this thing looks insane. It definitely looks like Dave Grohl is like the possessed demon villain, and it could be really funny. I think it's going to be super campy, which was totally their intent, I think. But the Foo Fighters movie is going to be in theaters nationwide, and it comes out on the 25th, which is also the same day that Guns N' Roses EP Hard School comes out. There's also new Shinedown coming out. Planet Zero's out on April 23rd. The Red Hot Chili Peppers' Unlimited Love is out on April 1st. The new Hailstorm, Back from the Dead, is out on May 6th. And the new CMF Sides, the second CMFT album, Corey motherfucking Taylor, that's coming out on the 25th of February. And it's got 9 tracks on it. It's got acoustic songs, cover songs, including John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band. That's track number 1, the first single that's out. And they also cover Metallica. They cover Eddie Money And then there's a live recording and a medley, a Stone Sour Corey Taylor medley on there. So you can get more details about the new EP on all of Corey Taylor's social media pages. Speaking of Corey Taylor, he's got to get back to his day job. The Slipknot record, I believe, is done. And now the Knotfest Roadshow is getting ready to go out. May 21st at the Dunkin' Donuts Center in Providence. May 22nd at the SNHU Arena in Manchester. Speaking of Manchester, announced today, Breaking Benjamin, Seether, Starset, and Lacey Sturm. Remember the lead singer from Flyleaf? She's opening up this tour. The show is April 22nd. It got announced today. Tickets go on sale this Friday. All the details are on the events calendar at mistresscarrie.com. Also announced today, Pussifer coming to the House of Blues in Boston on June 28th. Everything you need to know about that show on the events calendar at mistresscarrie.com. And also Orgy is coming to the Vault in New Bedford on April Fool's Day. That show added to the calendar as well. Dropkick Murphys for St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th. The 17th, 18th, and 19th at the House of Blues, the 20th at Roadrunner. And they announced today that Al Bell has taken himself off of the Dropkick Murphys tour. The band released a statement today. Al Bell's mom has dementia. And Al Bell, his wife, and his sister have been giving their mom 24-hour care. And he is not going on the Dropkick Murphys tour so that he can take care of his mom. And this really struck a chord for me for obvious reasons with everything that I've talked to you guys about here in the War Room over the last year and a half. And so I thought that it was a pretty amazing thing for Al Bell to say, you know what? I need to do something for my family and I need to pull myself off the road. And I think anybody that's had to care for a family member, a mom, a dad, a spouse, a child that's ill, it's really hard to do a lot of things well. And to prioritize his family like that, I think is something that we all would like to think we would all do, but it's very hard to be able to do those things, especially when you have your own family responsibilities, financial stuff, the band relying on you. The band's saying that they are going to be bringing out some special guests to kind of take over Al's vocal parts, and that Kenny Casey is going to be taking over a lot of those parts as well. So if you're a Dropkick Murphys fan, I wanted to pass that along. There is an official statement from the band on all of the band's official social media. So if you want to go and wish Al Bell and his family well, you can comment on the band's socials. Royal Blood is going to be at the House of Blues on May 24th. And Ringo Starr and his all-star band have a bunch of shows scheduled, including in Boston, Worcester, Guilford, New Hampshire, and Providence, Rhode Island. All of the dates are scheduled in June, and all of the dates are up on the events calendar at mistresscarrie.com. Also, Papa Roach, the Kill the Noise tour, rolling into Mohegan on the 24th of March. Mammoth WVH and Dirty Honey, the January 29th show, rescheduled to March 26th at Big Night Live, which is where Jerry Cantrell is going to be playing on April 9th. And just a reminder that the guys from Turnstile are going to be back at the Palladium on May 21st. Also, speaking of shows, the countdown is on. The show is still on track. Godsmack, 3 Days Grace, Black Veil Brides, Wage War, and Lilith Czar, April 30th at the DCU Center, and that is going to be the big gig. And if you don't have your tickets yet, you got to get them. And if you got them already, obviously, from the show getting postponed, your tickets are still going to be good. And Mike Shue and I will see you there because we're hosting the show that night, which is going to be awesome. What else did I want to talk to you guys about? Just a reminder about the Mistress Carrie deals. I actually got a really sweet text yesterday from Toby Wright from Tomes wishing me a happy Valentine's Day, which I thought was really sweet. You can take advantage of their 7-day free trial. Email them, tell them you want the Mistress Carrie upgrade, and they'll bump it up to a month. And all the details are in my blog at mistresscarrie.com, as is the code you need to get 20% off of everything from Spartan Brews Coffee, and you can go to the blog for that as well. All right, mail call. I got some stuff to show you. Hold on. So Mike Shue and I went and saw Ghost and Volbeat Friday night at the DCU Center, and we want to say hello to everybody that we got a chance to see at the show. I know there were a lot of people with Mistress Carrie backstage passes that got tickets to the show that I got to go and see, and I thought the show was great. The band sounded amazing. Volbeat sounded unbelievable, and the bands are in COVID bubbles, obviously, because they're trying to stay healthy, and that way they can keep the tour on the road. So I didn't get a chance to see Rob Caggiano from Volbeat, who's been on the podcast. But I did take a picture of him on stage and sent it to him in a DM. I slid into his DMs on Twitter. And he was like, I'm so bummed that I didn't get to see you. But he's like, the band sent you something, which I thought was really sweet. And they came in the mail today. So I got a little care package from Ghost and Volbeat that I wanted to show you guys. They sent me a box of freaking badass vinyl. So I got 3 Ghost albums on vinyl in the mail today from the band, which is super cool. I don't know what color the vinyl is because I haven't opened them yet. But I love the Ghost album covers because they're super intricate and detailed. And I just think they look so much better like as an actual vinyl album, as does most. Like, look at that. Like, this is a crazy ass tattoo, right? But the artwork, look at the back of this. Like, the artwork just looks so good on an actual album cover. I'm a huge fan. And then the guys from Volbeat sent me vinyl as well. So they sent me the Rewind, Replay, Rebound, the double album set, which has got 2 albums worth of stuff here. And they also sent me Servant of the Mind on vinyl as well, which I thought was really cool. So thanks, guys. I'm sorry that I didn't get to see them, but the show was awesome. I thought the production was great. I thought both bands sounded really, really good. And you could tell that both bands were just super stoked to be back on the road. And it's just nice being able to go to shows again. Like, all right, fine, I'll wear a mask. I don't care. I just want to go to fucking concerts, and it was awesome. Can't wait to go see Tool this weekend. Also came in the mail. I don't know where you guys find these cards, but seriously, look at it. Look at that face. So I got this card today. It says, have a doggone good Valentine's Day. Carrie and Wednesday, wishing you a happy Valentine's Day. Hope it's a good one. Love, Melissa and Tim. Thank you, guys. So sweet. There's a pug on it. And then I got this package that I forgot to rip open. I didn't want to. I'm trying really hard when you guys send me stuff to not look in it ahead of time. But you know I have no self-control. All right. Carrie and Wednesday. I know this is early, but I wanted to send this as early happy anniversary for the War Room. Plus, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have a great group of friends and family. And last, thanks for all the concert tickets. Oh, it's from Monica. Thanks, Monica. Let's see. This is a new Snoopy Frisbee for Wednesday, which she loves because she plays tug of war with Zero with these, which is amazing. Santa Pez. Love it. Valentine's Teddy Pez. Don't have that one. I don't believe I have this Heart Pez either, which is awesome. Perfect for Valentine's Day. And some Twizzlers. I'm opening those right now. Not waiting. Need Twizzlers in my life. Thank you, Monica. I know it's unprofessional to host a show and eat in front of you. How many times have I eaten in front of you? Almost all of them. And it's because you send me food. So I'm going to eat in front of you. Delicious. So good. Thanks, guys. Wednesday will be very happy about her Frisbee. I can't wait. Like the snow is almost gone. By the end of the week, it'll be gone. I can't wait to be able to like run Wednesday around the yard again because there's just been so much snow. She can't run in the yard. It's too deep. All right. Last week, I told you guys about the vinyl transfer stickers and the pins. I put pictures up, but I brought them up here and I didn't get a chance to show them to you. So I want to show you the size. So you can see the vinyl transfer sticker like you can see in the picture on the computer. All it is when you transfer it in is I know it's hard to see, but it's just the white letters of the logo, which look really good on car windows. And then the sticker, and then the pins are super cute. I do want to let you guys know, so these are acrylic, so they're like super hard, like plastic. But I want to let you guys know, see how like dull the finish is? It's because there's a protective plastic coating on it. So if you get these pins in the mail, you got to pry the edge off and peel like the static film off of it. And then the pin is super shiny because there is a plastic coating on it. So anybody that buys these pins or gets these pins, if I am out somewhere giving them away or whatever, there's a super thin plastic coating on them that you got to peel off. But I love the size. I think they're perfect. Like to put them on. I couldn't believe Friday night at the DCU how many people had like jean jackets and vests with like old school metal patches. And I was like, I'm so glad I have Mistress Carrie patches and pins because I know that new generations of rock fans are starting to put jackets and vests with their patches back on it. I just think it's freaking awesome. So I'm glad that the pins came out great. They come with a rubberized dammit on the back. That's what they call them, dammits. And I think they look awesome. And I love that they got the purple flames on there too. So that is the new stuff that's in there. I have been talking to T-Shirt Brian. Actually was talking to Christine from Latini Creative today and also with my embroidery guy. And we're definitely working on some new stuff for the store for the spring. So things are moving. Supply chains be damned. We're still having trouble getting certain sizes on things, but we're working on the tank tops right now. And so there's definitely new stuff on the way, which is pretty cool. I ordered some more samples of some other things too. All right, if today is your birthday, cheers to you. Happy unbirthday, Keith, but cheers to you. And if today is your birthday, you're celebrating with Gary Clark Jr., Jakey Lee, Brandon Boyd from Incubus, and Melissa Manchester. So happy birthday. Do you know how many of us snack during cocktails in the war room? I can imagine. I hope you guys are snacking. Snow is already gone in Kentucky, says Kevin. Would have loved to. Wait, hold on. The comments go so fast sometimes. They're called damn it's because they always come off and you lose your pin and you say, damn it. Yeah, exactly. Would have loved to see that, but I work too much. Let's see. Still on my birthday. Chris Farley's birthday is today. You know what? I saw that and meant to put it on here and I forgot. So happy birthday to the late, great Chris Farley. He would have been like 58 today, I think. Cheers. Happy birthday and happy unbirthday, Keith. Your nails are pretty. Thanks, Christina. Twizzlers are good. Granddaughter's birthday is Thursday. I'm usually cooking, says Betty. Already killed a cauliflower pizza, says Steven. So see, we're all snacking in the war room. Oh, the director and producer of Ghostbusters, and he was also Ivan Reitman was also the producer of Animal House, I believe. He passed away at the age of 75. Now, his son is the one behind the new Ghostbusters movie, the one that just came out with the kids in it. Yeah, Ivan Reitman passed away at the age of 75, which is super sad. Yeah, Eric just put it up there. Yeah. My grandson's first birthday is coming up Monday. It's also my son's 31st birthday. Wow, Annette, congratulations. Firehouse is playing here in Florida this week, says Christine. How long will it take you to kill that bag, Sean says. I could beat the shit out of a bag of Twizzlers, Sean. Not going to lie. I'm not going to eat the whole bag. But I still got to do the sit rep tonight. So I'm going to need some sugar. So yeah, there you go. All right, what else we got to talk about? Oh. Okay. If you got a Mistress Carrie backstage pass, I want to let you know I got some new tickets up for grabs. Pussifer tickets, even though they just got announced today, I have tickets for that. And also the Breaking Benjamin show I was talking about. The tickets don't even go on sale till Friday. Ooh, oh no. Hold on, I dropped Twizzler on the floor. Wednesday, I'll eat it. I got tickets before they even go on sale for Breaking Benjamin as well. Also Royal Blood, Knotfest, and Korn tickets. So if you don't have a Mistress Carrie backstage pass, you got to get one because the backstage pass holders get tickets to a ton of shows, and they usually all sit together, which is pretty cool. So you always know, like, it was really cool at Ghost and Volbeat because I got to go over and kind of see everybody all sitting together, which was really cool. So I saw Penny there. There's a bunch of people that were all hanging out together. So if you don't have a Mistress Carrie backstage pass, you can get one on Patreon. Go to the Mistress Carrie website, mistresscarrie.com. Click the Patreon link. You can get it. And then you get access to all of these tickets too. Breaking Benjamin is epic, says Steven. I can't eat Twizzlers anymore. Had a whole bag, puked up everything. Don't eat a whole bag. You have to show some level of restraint. Moderation. Good luck. Penny said the seats were great too. They were actually really good seats. And the stage was so big that like there really isn't that many bad seats like at the DCU Center anyway. So I wish Bon Jovi would tour. I would wear 10 masks if I had to, says Jen. Delicious sangria. What else do I want to show you? Oh, I just want to remind you about all the places you can find me online. That was it. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Cameo, YouTube. YouTube is where all of the episodes of Cocktails in the War Room live, by the way. So if you're looking for a specific episode, they're all on mistresscarrie.com in chronological order, but the episodes get uploaded every week to YouTube as well. So if you have somebody that doesn't have Facebook and they want to be able to go back and watch the shows or whatever, you can always watch them on YouTube. Drink, Carrie, drink. I got to make up for last week because I couldn't drink and I had sangria in the fridge and I was just looking at it longingly like, I can't drink you. But I can today. So that's pretty much it, guys. New episode of the podcast comes out tomorrow. Aaron Jones. Can you guys believe it seems like yesterday that he was on the podcast? And that was in in October of 2020. He was on episode 20. Now the podcast comes out every week. I have not missed a week since the podcast debuted in June of 2020. And this week it's episode 89. 89 weeks in a row of the podcast. It's crazy. The podcast was up 22% last year. And this month so far, we're up 5% over last month. So the podcast is growing. And it's because you guys are sharing the episodes, commenting on it, putting them up online, just telling people about it. So whatever it is that you're doing to help promote the podcast, keep doing it because it's working. So there you go. Will says, thanks, Carrie. Have a great night, everybody. Let's see. Always nice rocking out with you, says Steven. Last time he was at the House of Blues and he was awesome. Hey, MC, do you see what Andrew Biggio posted about the vet living in his van? You know what, Michelle? I did see that. And Andy Biggio is the guy that when he finds out something like that, he just doesn't stop until it's taken care of. And he's just an amazing guy when it comes to helping our veterans. And he's the kind of guy that it's like, you know what? He knows where people are when he needs them. And he knows that we're here if he needs something. And he just does amazing work. It's unbelievable. I do also want to tell you that I got a couple appearances coming up. I think I can talk about them next week on a couple of other people's podcasts too that are coming up. I've been doing some other interviews. So that is coming up as well. And anytime I'm on another podcast, I always put it up in the blog at mistresscarrie.com. So I think that's it, guys. Another show. Can you believe this is episode 171 of Cocktails in the War Room? It doesn't seem possible, but it is. And it's because you guys like getting together every Tuesday night at 8:30 and hanging out. And so for that, I appreciate you, because otherwise I would probably be sitting here drinking in the war room by myself. So at least I'm not alone. Monica says, good night. Wish you guys all heat tonight. It's cold, says Keith. Mickey, what's going on, Mick in Oregon? Thanks for checking into the war room. Steven says 171. It's crazy. I know 200 is coming up really fast. It's insane how many episodes we've gone through together. Every Tuesday night, 8:30. I'll meet you guys right back here. Don't forget, episode 89 of the podcast goes live at midnight. Thanks for hanging out with me in the war room. I'll see you guys next week. Good night.